for joining us tonight. I'm Kyle Clark.
And I'm Kim Christensen. The U.S. Postal Service says in a matter of months, 3 different drivers have driven into one of its locations in Boulder.
9 News reporter Janelle Finch is there for us now. And Janelle, my dad always used to say when the check would come at dinner, what's the damage? I guess that's my question for you.
Kim, Kyle, there is a lot of damage here. One time for this to happen can be considered as a coincidence, but for 2 times for this to happen, that's when you might start to raise an eyebrow or two. But for 3 times, that's when this becomes a trend, and USPS Postal Service workers are trying to come up with a solution to prevent this from happening again. If the Boulder Post Office at Valmont and 55th had a nickel for every time a car ran through the building.
The community trying to tell us that we're looking for a drive-through location here in Boulder.
James Boxrood with USPS would have 3 nickels.
So having 3 times here at the Boulder Post Office, same location, same side of the building, it does make you wonder.
Boxrood says the first time was July 2023. A car drove through the lobby and hit a customer on the other side.
After that, we went ahead and we started putting in these cement flower pots, thinking that, that'll, if that was to happen again, that would kind of slow it down.
They didn't. More than a year later, the post office was hit again in August. The building was still in disrepair when last week, another driver challenged the building and lost.
Hey, I want everybody to know that we have a building here. Make sure you got your feet on the right pedal.
Boxrood hopes the solution is a stronger defense.
What I honestly believe is that once we put the bollards up, nobody will ever hit them again. So.
Just not yet.
Well, we haven't got the bollards up.
So to get a closer look at these flower pots, I can move them not super easily, but now imagine me being a 3,500 pound car. This is just not gonna hold me back. And as you can see, it hasn't been that way for a lot of different cars. So the U.S. Postal Service is hoping that those bollards will get up before the holiday season and hopefully before another car comes barreling through. But in the meantime, Boulder Fire and Rescue does say that the building is structurally sound. Live in Boulder, Janelle Finch, 9 News.
There's just some force of attraction there.
Well, I'm with them, though. People want to drive through. They somehow think life is a drive-through. You know, Janelle?
Yep. Right.
It's easy, right? Order ahead, that kind of thing. Not really.
Janelle Finch, thank you.
Yeah, or just use the entrance that's already here. Don't make your own.
That would be the best choice. Thank you. It was a mild day across our area, but as you can see from Sky 9, the mountains still have plenty of snow. Unlike last week, we don't expect that here, as sunny, warm weather continues for the next few days. Kathy?
I know, and people are excited about that, Kim.
Yes, they are. We could take it after last week.
Yeah, some of us still have snow in our backyard, and we're waiting to dig out all of it. But distracted tonight by shoveling and the cold and snow to the east when you saw the sunset tonight. It was glorious. 4:43, the sun is setting, and you almost don't mind daylight saving time when you see scenes like this. Thank you all for sending in these glorious color shots of the Front Range Mountains tonight before 5 o'clock. Temperatures were all over the place today. We've got a cool night ahead of a string of mild days. We're tracking the next storm. It'll be here for the weekend, and it will bring snow to the mountains. Temperatures 39 today in Denver, 47 in Pueblo, 37 in Kremling. Temperatures around the area, however, are going to go a whole lot colder tonight. We're in the mid-30s at DIA. We're headed for the 20s tonight. Coming up, a look at the extended forecast, more on the mountain snow and when Denver might see snow.
State troopers out of the hospital tonight after being hurt in a crash today along Highway 115 in El Paso County. CSP says Trooper Tyler Atkins was working another crash bit before 4 this afternoon, intersection of Highway 115 and Little Turkey Creek Road, about 5 miles southwest of Colorado Springs. He was in his car when he was hit by another driver. CSP say they think that driver was drunk. Helicopter took Atkins to the hospital. He's now recovering at home.
Members of law enforcement from around the state gathered at a church in Littleton today to pay their respects to a Golden police officer killed in the line of duty. More than 200 police units formed a blue tunnel for Officer Evan Dunn's procession. Dozens of people also stood on sidewalks and hills near the church, showing their respect for the officer. Today's service, which was closed to the public, came exactly 1 week after Officer Dunn was killed in a crash with a suspected drunk driver on Highway 58 while working another crash scene. Many people who attended the procession today didn't know the 33-year-old. They just felt the need to support.
I have kids that are 32 and 34, and when I saw the young man's age, it hits really close to home, and I just feel very devastated for the family.
The driver, Stephen Gear, is due in court tomorrow. Court documents reveal he told officers after the crash that he had had one beer at a local brewery and declined a breathalyzer test. He's an assistant professor at Colorado School of Mines. He's facing felony charges, including vehicular homicide. His public defender told the judge last week that the crash could have happened to anyone, in big part because it was dark and slippery outside.
Today, President-elect Donald Trump met with President Joe Biden in the Oval Office as Biden promised the peaceful transition of power that Trump did not provide him. Trump also didn't invite Biden to the White House because he, of course, refused to concede the 2020 election and falsely claimed that it was rigged. Trump's cabinet appointments continue today with former Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard as his selection for Director of National Intelligence. The Democrat turned Republican has been criticized for sharing pro-Russian propaganda in the past. Trump has selected Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz to be his attorney general. Gaetz is currently under ethics investigation in the House, and he was previously investigated by federal prosecutors over sex trafficking allegations. No charges were filed in that case. Gaetz resigned from the House today, which may stop the release on Friday of his ethics investigation findings. His nomination's been met with bipartisan criticism from some Colorado politicos. Former Colorado Republican Party Chairwoman Christy Burton Brown called Gaetz, quote, the worst nomination for the Trump cabinet, and Democratic Congressman Jason Crow simply posted, WTF. Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert claimed today that the American people are being kept in the dark as she asked UFO experts about alien-human hybrids and underwater space aliens. Boebert is on the House Oversight Committee, which is looking for secret government research into aliens and UFOs, which are also now called UAPs, or unidentified anomalous phenomena. Four self-described UAP experts testified about their belief that the Pentagon is hiding proof of aliens.
There are rumors that have come up to the Hill of a secretive project within the Department of Defense involving the manipulation of human genetics with what is described as non-human genetic material, potentially for the enhancement of human capabilities, hybrids. Are any of you familiar with that? Yes or no?
No, ma'am.
I am not, ma'am.
I'm not.
No, ma'am.
So it was a no on the alien-human hybrids. Boebert then went on to question them about alien civilizations in the depths of the sea. She said she's looking forward to working with the Trump administration to get to the bottom of this whole alien-human hybrid thing and those underwater alien cities.
The owner of a dojo in Aurora says he may have to close up shop because his funding is running out. 9 News reporter Rhea Jaws along with that now. Rhea?
Yeah, I spoke with the sensei, who's also the owner of the dojo. He says his mission is to serve kids who are low income and at risk with help from Aurora Community Connection. But with funding running out at the end of the year, he's not sure he can keep his doors open for these kids.
Get those knees up.
The dojo that opened its doors for so many.
Me, I developed. I developed self-discipline.
May have to close their own.
I don't know what we're gonna do. Hey! Nice. Neat.
The mission of a martial arts instructor
Karate's not something I do. Karate is who I am.
is one Sensei James Walker takes to heart.
An average person gets to touch and influence 10 people throughout their lifetime in a positive way. That a sensei has the responsibility and the privilege of influencing over 100,000 people throughout their life. All right.
He started Resilient Martial Arts in 1998,
Hey!
specifically making sure kids from low-income and at-risk households have the opportunity to join.
Before my teenage years, I was in and out of foster homes and things like that. And so it's a personal thing when I see these kids going through these same battles that I want to share with them a gift that was given to me, which is karate.
The grant funding they've been getting for years to make that happen expires at the end of the year.
We currently have 37 students enrolled in that program. We scholarship about 50% of the tuition for each one of those students, and Aurora Community Connection takes care of the rest of that tuition.
One of those students is 9-year-old Richie. His mom, Myra, has been bringing him in twice a week for the past year.
He used to be really fidgety and really shy in school, and now this has helped him a lot boost that confidence that he needed.
Knee! Good. Back up.
Sensei Walker is now doing what he can to keep the dojo's doors open.
Keep those backs straight.
For his students.
I got to be an example to these kids to show them that you only fail when you quit trying.
We reached out to Aurora Community Connection today to learn more about their grant funding. They haven't responded to our questions yet. Ria Jha, 9 News.
We're following breaking news. Firefighters are responding to a house fire in Green Valley Ranch. It's in a neighborhood off East 56th Avenue, just west of E470. 2 firefighters are being evaluated on scene. They're dealing with really heavy smoke there. We have a crew headed that way. We'll keep you updated.